to another episode of Sports Talk for You. Tonight, we are going to stay local and go with a special guest from East High School. Assistant coach Chaq Reed will be joining us from East High football. But first, before we get started with that, I'm wanting to let all my followers know, all our YouTube subscribers know, and other people that are watching this, we are going to start doing fantasy football pre-games, sit, play, coming on Wednesday nights. So I'm just letting everybody know about that. We will get started with that this week. I'll let everybody know about it. It's going to be exciting. We're excited to do this. We're big fantasy football guys, so we're going to be doing the fantasy football thing to help our fantasy football players out, and we hope it will help you guys out. So, Adam, fantasy football, you beat me this week. I had a rough week in fantasy football, but you got me.
Yeah, it was a valiant effort by your guys.
Unless Dalvin Cook somehow gets 70 points tonight. Who knows?
Yeah, you never know. That guy's on fire. So
yeah, he's due for a bad game, and he's playing a good Chicago defense. So, although next week I'd have a chance because he's playing the Dallas defense.
Yeah, and we know how bad that team is.
Exactly.
Somebody asked me this weekend, who does Dallas play? And I'm like, nobody. Exactly. They're like, oh, you guys actually have a chance to win this weekend. I'm like, no, we just somehow spectacularly lose the bye week, you know.
Good thing for Cowboys fans, they don't have a chance to lose this weekend. The bad thing for Chiefs fans, we don't have a chance to win this weekend. So
exactly.
But,
so
yeah. So
although, you know, I have to say this, in one of my other fantasy leagues, I have like 3 quarterbacks on a bye that I didn't even realize. So
there you go.
Yeah, there you go.
And next week,
I love the Dynasty League.
I did put in a waiver, though, to pick up James Winston because Drew Brees, man, the news came out today, I believe, multiple fractured ribs and
a collapsed lung.
And with his age right now, they said that collapsed lung could be dangerous. This guy, I think this is it for him.
I think so, too. You know, I think this is probably his last hurrah. Unfortunately, it has to be in time of COVID, but you know, he took a vicious hit, and you know, you can't expect to come back, you know, in 2 to 3 weeks like, you know, if he was at a younger age. So I expect him to be out at least 6 weeks.
Oh yeah.
You know,
heck, he was out half the season last year, and that's how Bridgewater got his starting job this year, was because the job he did for Brees last year.
Right. So we finally get to see how great Jameis Winston is under a new head coach. This should be interesting.
Here's the thing. What's the over-under on interceptions? I'm going to say 10.
You're going to say 10 in his however many starts?
Yes.
That's funny.
I'm going to say over 10 interceptions.
Yeah, you know what, though? I don't think Sean Payton will allow him to do that. I just don't, you know.
Exactly.
So we'll see. We'll see what happens, but I'll take the under just because I believe Sean Payton will do a few dump passes here and there and then go from there.
Exactly. So, all right, enough of the fantasy talk. We got East High assistant football coach with us, Chaq Reed. Chaq, thanks for joining us tonight.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. I know you guys are coming off a tough loss last Friday against Junction City, but I mean, you guys made it this far. The first time in almost 4 decades, you guys have made it to a playoff quarterfinal. So just tell us, I mean, how excited was that for the team, and just the fact that you guys were able to finally get there and get the pressure of the monkey off your guys' back?
It was a pretty exciting season. You know, we were finally able to get over the hump and get a couple playoff wins. So, I mean, that was a good feeling. Of course, we had to come to an end last week. You know, we were in that game and we felt like we had, you know, plenty of chances to win, and like we still should be getting ready to play this week. But hats off to Junction City. They're a great team. So, yeah. You know, they did what they needed to do to win the game.
Yeah.
What do you look forward to the most for next season?
Just coming in again, and this time with, you know, the kids with a different mind frame, believing that they can win, and, you know, believing that East High is a football school and actually being excited about football season.
Yeah. So what was your guys' mindset before the season started? Because, the whole COVID thing, it was a matter of, was Wichita City League going to have football, and you guys fought it so hard, you guys were able to play. What did you guys tell the kids about this?
It was, it was kind of rocky because then, you got kids who have worked all summer, and then they hear that their season is canceled. And you got kids who don't want to sit out, so they're calling us, asking, do we think we're going to play? And if not, is there a way that they would be able to transfer to schools that will play and all of that? And I mean, guys we just told them to stick it out with us, and they stuck it out, and I mean, they end up making history.
Yeah, that was very exciting. When I saw that, I was like, I didn't realize it's been 4 decades since East High has made it to the playoffs, which is crazy. Especially
I
with
mean,
Bryce and Arthur Brown when they used to play there. I mean, that was a good team they had.
Yeah, I played on that team with Bryce and Arthur in the early 2000s, and we had a good team. It's just the playoff system was a little different then. You had the districts where you had to win 2 to get in, and it seemed like we would always run into a really good Derby team or a really good Heights team, or Southeast was actually really good back then too. So
now I do believe, because when Northwest won the game a couple weeks ago, and the Northwest coach came out saying that he's tired of hearing about City League being overrated. And I mean, what's your point on that? Because the City League looked very good this year.
I mean, in my opinion, it's just I don't know why people make that statement. Because I mean, even last week we went toe to toe with Junction, and they're the best team in their league. So it goes to show that every we have a couple teams in the City League that are in rebuild mode, but every league has those teams, so it's not just the City League. And so I feel like, when people say, oh, I think it's easy for them to look at the scores from some games this year. We had 2 80-point games. We had a 70-point game. Northwest had, a 90-point game, couple 80-point games, and it's easy to look at those type of games and say, well, oh, they're not playing anybody. So, oh, their league is down.
Yeah. Adam, do you have a question?
Yeah, I just have a random question for you. What made you want to come into coaching? Anyone influence you?
Well, so I played 2 years at Butler, and then I played 2 years at K-State. So when I came back home, the head coach at East High, N.A. Akpan, he was the defensive coordinator at East. And so, one day I had kind of came up there to practice. And Xavier Kelly, he was at East at the time. So, I came up there and I was just kind of messing around and talking to him, and the defensive line coach that was there, Coach Bean, he was talking about, he was ready to retire. And so, and they was like, you should come coach with me, man. Come help me run the defense. At first, I was kind of like, I just got out playing. I know how these kids is. When it comes to coaching, he's like, no, man, come do it. So, we end up talking, and he was like, I end up coming on. He was like, we can have really good defense, man. And so I ended up coming on and being his defensive line coach that year. And then, of course, he ended up getting the head coaching job the next year. And so it's just kind of been going from there.
Now, if you were to get offered a head coaching job at a high school for next year, would you take it now? Or would you say, oh, I need a couple more years of coordinator experience before?
Right now, I wouldn't take it. I like what we're doing at East High, and I like the guys that I coach with, and what we've built together. as far as, bringing excitement back to East High football. And I mean, like, we have guys like, me, Bryce Brown, Demarcus Robinson. He's the running back coach. He played at Kansas State as well. And I mean, it's just like, it's a core, and a lot of the guys that's on the staff, I grew up with. So, I mean, we're all a younger coaching staff, and we all grew up together, played together. So right now, I'm not really looking for a head coaching job per se. I'm just kind of enjoying the time I have with the staff I'm on now.
I gotta ask you, so your first practice, what is the one thing you looked at on your team that you were like, oh, we really gotta, work on this?
Well, me personally, I'm a defensive guy, and I had a couple of new defensive linemen, and we had a couple of new linebackers, and wasn't sure how that was gonna go. So I'm like, hey, we gotta really shore up our front seven, because we gotta be able to stop the run. Like, I'm big on being able to stop the run. If you can't stop the run, teams will kill you. So that's my first focus, is being able, hey, we got to be able to stop the run. If we can stop the run and get pressure on the quarterback, everything else will kind of follow.
Right.
Now, I got a question for you. I'm going to put you on the spot here. Because if Junction City and Derby were to make it to the finals and play each other, who would you pick in that game?
I haven't seen a whole lot of Derby this year outside. I watched the Mill Valley game early in the year. It's I think it could. Honestly, I think it's a game that could go either way. And I'm gonna say Junction just because they beat us. So I say Junction in a very, very close game. If they can stop Lem Washington and Dylan Edwards, then they have a really good chance of winning the ball game.
Yeah. Well, Shaq, I want to thank you for joining us tonight. Again, congratulations on your guys' first playoff win in almost 4 decades. I mean, I know how exciting that is for you guys. And I saw the video of, you guys jumping around, holding that thing up. And I mean, it kind of brought chills to me, because I work with the lady, her nephew plays at East High. So she was really excited about it. So,
I mean, there's a lot of kids that were, they were freshmen on that 2-7 team. So, well, sophomores on that 2-7 team. So, and some guys were freshmen there when we were 2-7. And so to see them just continually get better, 2-7, 5-4, this year we're 7-2. They've been there and they've grinded it out. So to see their work paying off, it was an exciting moment, for them, And honestly, we didn't even know. We've never been there before. We didn't know you even got a trophy for that game. So it's just kind of like when the principal brought the trophy over there, hey, why not? Hey, that's had it.
Now, how many returning seniors will you guys have next year?
We on offense, I know we lose 2 offensive linemen, we lose 2 receivers. So I think we just lose 4 on offense, and then on defense, we'll lose a corner. Our whole starting defensive line is gone. So a corner and a linebacker. So we'll lose 4 on offense and 6 on defense.
Well, hey, we believe in you. Get that defense going next year and get those young guys in there.
Yeah.
Make it back and get revenge on Junction City if you guys play them.
Yeah, that's the plan.
All right, Chaq. Thanks for joining our show tonight, and God bless you guys and stay safe out there.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks. All right, Shaq Reed, assistant East High football coach, joining us tonight. Thanks to him for joining us. And a rough loss they came off Friday against Junction City, 49-42, but hell of a season they had. So that's going to do it for our show tonight. Again, coming up Wednesday, we will have fantasy football. Sit 'em, play 'em. Excited to do this one because I got a lot of sit 'em guys that I'm tired of playing on my team. And Adam is the same way, I'm sure. So we'll have that coming up Wednesday night. Again, Adam beat me this week, but I'll get revenge on him in the playoffs if I play him. So be ready. Yeah.
Bring it.
All
Bring
right.
it.
Go ahead and subscribe to our channel, like our video, comment underneath if you have any comments. We will see you guys Wednesday.